Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. JD here again with another car finance related tutorial for you. Thank you so much for the amount of interest you've shown in the previous video, which was the BMW used offer, 2.9% APR on a selection of their cars. It was mainly M cars, 7 Series, 8 Series, that kind of thing, between 3 and 18 months old. That was actually my most popular video to date in its first 48 hours, so thank you very much for your support on that, and I hope it was food for thought. That got me thinking. Normally, and I've done this in the past, it's often better, it's often cheaper because of the much better APR you can get to buy a new car versus a used car, because as you saw from the previous video, the normal kind of typical headline rate that you'll get from BMW or other manufacturers on a used car is about 10.9% APR. So if you are looking at, say, I don't know, a 6-month-old car at 10.9% APR, it can often prove to be cheaper to buy a new car and get, you know, the full 3-year warranty and get a much better APR. But I thought, actually, what would the winner be, if you like, between a new and a used M4 competition pack, which was the video I based the vehicle I based the previous video on? Which would be the winner? Because they're both 2.9% APR at the moment. Is it better to still buy new, or is it better to buy? In this case, it was January 2020, so we're in August 2020 now. So about, what would that be, 8 or 9 months old. Is it better to still buy used or new? So that's what I thought I'd do today. So if you remember, this is a screenshot from the previous video. The car we're looking at was an M4 Coupe competition pack, and it had a retail price 47,490, and it was registered in January 2020. Didn't have many miles on. I think it was probably a demo car, 300 or 400 miles on the clock. And they were suggesting a deposit of 712,350, and it was coming out at 49165 per month. Guaranteed future value was 277671. So what I thought I'd do is look at the equivalent new deal at the moment, change the deposit to exactly the same as what they were suggesting the deposit would be on here, have a look at the monthly payments, but then also let's have a look at, you know, like we've done in the past, where would we be in 2 years' time on that car? So in the brand new car, that's going to be in 2 years' time from, say, let's say from next month, September 2020. And with the used car, which is already 9 months old at that point, it's going to be in another, let's say, what's it going to be, 15 months. So if we were to have an M4 competition pack and we wanted to get out of them both when they were exactly 2 years old, where would we be? Which one would have the most equity, if there is any equity in the deal? And we're going to just look at a typical valuation at Parker's. As I said before, it's not the best way of doing it. You really need to get a cap valuation, but it will give us an idea. So I did a quick look and I came across this offer at Sytner's, and they are saying, look, BMW M4 competition coupe, 2.9% representative APR, so it's exactly the same as the used current deal, and they're saying 549 per month, 5499 customer deposit. So if you remember from the video I did the other day, they wanted a deposit of 712,350 on the used car. It was coming out at 49165, guaranteed future value 2776. On the new one, look, if we just have a look at the example, they are saying it's got a on the road cash price of 69,725, but they are putting in a total deposit of £18,110.93. And they are suggesting a customer deposit of 5499. So what I'm going to do is just nip over to the spreadsheet, and I've made 2 versions of this. As always, please do email me here if you'd like to find out how you can get a copy of this latest spreadsheet. Thank you for your continued support on that, by the way. So what I've done, I've put both sets of figures in. So this is the used example, like we looked at the other day, 47,490, deposit 712,350, guaranteed future value 2776, 47 equal payments, 2.9 APRs, coming out at 49164. Okay, if we go over to the new example at 69,725 with an £18,110 manufacturer's deposit allowance, and we change our, let me just put this back to 5499 just to prove that the spreadsheet's working. So deposit of 5499, the spreadsheet's coming out at 54899. They're saying 549. So actually the spreadsheet is pretty much spot on in this example, which is nice to see. The only thing I haven't checked, I can't remember whether it was 8,000 or 10,000 miles on the used example. Let's assume it was 8,000 miles. I think it was. So if we now change the deposit on the new car to what they wanted on the used car, so 7,123.50. So let's just change that, 7,123.50. It comes out at 512.41. So on a new car, it's basically about 20 quid a month more expensive still to buy a new one than the used one, it is quite unusual, because let's just rewind. If you remember on the previous video, we actually said, well, what would the used be on the normal rate of 10.9? So if it was 10.9, look, it would be $692.57 a month to buy that used M4, and we can get a new one at $512.41 with the same deposit. So that's why, certainly if you're prepared to run the car for the full term, it can often work out much cheaper to buy new rather than nearly new. But in this case, because it's quite unusual that the APR is the same, it actually comes out cheaper to buy used, and remember it's only done 400 miles or so, compared to new. Now, the final guaranteed future value on the new car is quite a lot higher as well. Look, it's 24,366 after 4 years. And on the used one, they're saying 27,776. Now, remember, that's going to be when the car is about 4 years and 9 months old. So that's why the final value is lower. But what I thought to myself, well, let's just see where we'd be in 2 years' time. So let's say we're starting this agreement in, let's say, August 2020. So the first payment would come out in September 2020. In 2 years' time, we would be at 24 monthly payments. So we would be at August 2022. And we would owe approximately, give or take, as I've said before, 100 quid or so, depending on how much interest is added on to settle early. You would be looking, in this case, look at 34,622 to settle on that new car agreement. And on the used car, so we'd be looking at, let's say it's February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So it's 7 months old, that used car. So we need to be looking at another, 17 months. So that car is going, well, of course it tells me January here. So that car is going to be 2 years old in January 2022. Hope you're following this. So this is the used car that's already 7 months old. So on this agreement, look, in 17 months, so when we've made 17 payments, we're going to owe 33,665, give or take 100 quid. And on the used car, on the new car, when that's 2 years old, which is going to be in August 2022, we're going to owe 34,622. So we owe 34,622 on the new, and we owe 33,665 on the used. The interesting thing is, look, is not only do we owe about £1,000 less on the used car, we've also paid £20 a month less to get there with the same deposit. So what's that? About 480 quid less in payments, and we have got a settlement of about £1,000 less. I went over to Parker's and I just got a free valuation. So let's just do that again. So BMW 4 Series Coupe. So let's say it's going to be, it's difficult, isn't it? Because we're right on the cusp of the registration change. Let's say it's a 2018 68. Okay, that's probably going to be more accurate than going for an 18 plate. So a 2018 68 plate on an M4 Coupe competition pack. Now, was it DCT? Doesn't say, does it? I don't know whether this is manual. It certainly looks like the auto box on there. Don't know. It doesn't say, does it? I'm going to assume it's the DCT. So back into Parker's. M4 competition pack 2-door DCT. Just curious for purposes, work purposes, get my free valuation. So now the problem is, I've said before, Parkers don't give you a trading value anymore. They give you a private price that you could expect to get, and they give you a dealer price that you would expect to pay at the dealer. So I thought to myself, well, if the dealer price is coming out between about 39 and 41, and private price you could expect to sell it for about 33 to 38, I kind of took a value, and I might be being conservative here, but I just thought, well, you should at least get 36 if you were to sell it privately, or maybe even on a trade-in. So I put 36 into the spreadsheet here, lot. And on the new car, we were coming out with about £1,500 equity in 2 years' time to get out of that car, which is really, really good. You know, with the amount of deposit contribution this new car's getting, it certainly looks, and obviously we've got no crystal ball, as I said before, we don't know what the car's going to be worth in 2 years, but going on current values and being fairly conservative, if we could get 36 grand back for that car in 2 years' time, on the new car we would have about 1,530 quid equity. On the used car, 2,484. So we've got essentially, because the settlement is £1,000 less, about £1,000 more equity in that car in 2 years' time. Plus, we might get bored and we've only got to keep it for 17 months on the used one. So that's really good. We can get out of that car looking at these figures quite confidently. Plus, let's remember, it's also cost us 20 quid less a month to get there on this current 2.9% deal. So essentially, in 2 years' time, we've saved 480 quid roughly in monthly payments, and we've got about 2,484 in equity. So it's about 3 grand, isn't it? So to run that used M2 for 17 months, up to its second birthday, if you like, we should have about £3,000 in equity looking on these current figures versus about 1,500 quid in equity. Obviously the benefit is you're getting a brand new car, you might be able to spec the colour. I don't know whether this offer is only on stock cars. The used car may have some more options on, I didn't remember to look, compared to the new car. But obviously you are getting a full 3 years warranty on the new car, and on the used one you're only getting, what, 20, can't do maths today, 29 months, something like that. But we might get rid of it in 2 years anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So that was quite a useful little comparison. It's very unusual that you're getting this kind of low rate on a nearly new car. And as I said, often it's cheaper to buy new, but in this case it certainly looks like it's worth buying used if you can find one to your specification. As always, I hope that was interesting. It certainly was for me. Thank you for your continued support. I really appreciate it. Please do comment. Please do subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Please hit that bell icon so you get notification as to when I release a new video. And as always, please do email me here. If you want to ask me anything, as I've said before, I'm happy to give you friendly opinions on any deals you're looking at. If you'd like me to take any deals that you take a look at any deals you're considering, and certainly if you'd like a copy of the spreadsheet, please drop me a line there and I will send you instructions as to how you can get a copy. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I shall see you soon. Cheers.